ask for their reports. I'll ask for their reports after taking on their roles, and I will return the control of the meeting to our club president. But before we go on with our meeting, I would like to give the theme of today's meeting. The theme is do great things. Do great things. You logging in to join this call you're already doing a great thing. Being a member of Toastmasters, you're doing a great thing. Showing up, whether you're a guest or a member, you're already doing a great thing. Do great things in your life. Do show up, show out, and yeah, be great. We know Martin Luther King one time said, if you cannot do great things, at least do small things in a great way. Do very many small things, but in a great way. Yeah. Toastmasters and guests, I ask you to be great and make sure and I would ask that your speeches align with our themes for today's call. And therefore, I would go on to introduce our role takers, and they tell us what they're going to do with their roles and how they're going to do the roles and how everything is going to be done. Shall start with our timer, who is Drissa. So Drissa is one of our new members as well. He has already given his icebreaker speech, and he's taking on so many different roles. And today he'll be our timer. Over to you, Drissa.
Yes, good morning and welcome, everyone. I'll be the timer today. And I think we'll have a great meeting. Thank you for being here. And over to you, Shamim. Thank you for introducing me.
All right. For this meeting, we do not have a grammarian as of yet, but anyone can volunteer to be one. You are still very open to the position. Anyone?
Let's just move on so that we can have the speaker.
Okay. So today we are going to go straight. Yes. Yes, please. Okay. We are going to go on direct to our speeches. Therefore, no, we also have a table topics master who is Laura. Laura is one of our. Laura is going to be our table topics master today. Over to you, Laura. You can take us through what you're going to do.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I should try to keep it short. So today I'm the table topic masters. With the table topics, I will ask a few questions. The questions are also about the team. Then you have maximum 2 minutes to answer the question. When you answer it, it doesn't have to be true, so you can use your imagination and your fantasy. It will also allow it to be true, so you feel free to improvise, and it's also so you can learn and develop the skills in unexpected moments. Yeah, to develop a skill with unexpected situations, to have an answer or to share something. So the minimum time is 1 minute, then the green card will show 1.5 minutes yellow and 2 minutes is red, and then you still have 30 seconds remaining to close off. I think that's it shortly. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. So we shall go straight. We are going to start with our speeches. And the speeches will be evaluated by the different evaluators. And today's program, we are going to start with Helen Nareiso, who we get. Oh, I see Suzanne is asking a question in the chat. Do we get the word of the day? Apologies if I missed it. Suzanne, unfortunately, we did not have a grammarian, but you can take on the role. Suzanne?
That's okay. Shamim, let's move on. There's no word of the day.
There is no word of the day, but you just have to make sure we take note of the good use of the English language. Yeah. So I'm going to introduce our first speaker for today. Is going to be Helen Nareso, and her speech is titled "The Awakening." Helen is one of our newest members of Kampala Sunrise Toastmasters. And she's going to give us, she joined like a week ago, and she's already taking on the icebreaker speech. I look forward to this. Helen Nareso, The Awakening. Over to you, Helen.
Just a minute.
Thank you.
1 minute. Just 1 minute, Helen.
Okay.
1 minute. We will have the evaluator introducing the speaker.
We have the
Evaluator introducing the speaker.
okay. Evaluator, Helen's evaluator is Brenda Atwine. Brenda, we have to introduce the speaker. Over to you, Brenda.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Shamim. And good morning to all the Toastmasters and the guests in the house. It's my pleasure this morning to invite in the Kampala Sunrise Toastmasters Club, Helen Nareso. Helen is going to give a speech entitled The Awakening. Helen has 4 to 6 minutes to deliver this first speech, commonly known as. The purpose of this speech is for the member to introduce herself to the club. And of course, for the member to learn the basic structure of a public speech. So Helen, I'll be looking out majorly for your clarity in the speech, the clarity in your language, how confident you are with the audience and comfortable you are, and of course, your speech as it is supposed to be introducing yourself to the club. It would be good that in your speech, we get to know more about you, Helen. Welcome with me as we all stand up, rise up to welcome Helen with the Great Awakening. The Great Awakening, Helen Nareso.
Thank you, Brenda. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, guests, ladies and gentlemen. There's a story I had once. It's about a crow, the bird. The crow approaches the parrot and says, "I really admire you, parrot. Why? Because you can speak. And your feathers are really colorful. You're not like me. I am all black. People rarely want to get to know me. And when they eventually see me, it's only to chase me away. I think if I was like you, I would be able to make a difference in this world." The parrot replies and says, "No, you're wrong, crow. Yes, I can speak, but I can only learn a few words my lifetime. Eventually, people get bored of me. And yes, my feathers are colorful, but they're only a few colors. They're not like for the peacock right here. If I was like a peacock, I would definitely make a difference. Because people move from all over the world to come and have a look at the peacock. And the peacock moves with so much grace. I really would make a difference if I was a peacock. And the peacock laughs and says, "You guys are both wrong. Yes, I move with grace. My feathers are beautiful, they are colorful. However, I'm caged up my entire life. I never get to explore the world as much as people come from different parts of the world to have a look at me. I'd like to see what the world looks like. Unfortunately, I would be noticed all the time. I wish I was like the crow. I'll be able to move from place to place without being noticed. In that way, I'd make a difference." Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Helen Nariso. I was born and raised here in Kampala, Uganda. As a young child, I was very, very curious and inquisitive, and I used to ask a lot of questions. Fortunately, the environment I grew up in was very, very stimulating, and I was exposed to these great, great ladies, ladies of high accomplishments, successful, real mentors. You might wonder, what ladies? I went to a single-sex Catholic school, and we really interacted a lot with a lot of the first vice president in Africa, lady, the first female engineer, and something in me grew. I felt like I was on the right path, though I didn't know what the path was. And interacting with them and their experiences, it seemed like they always had the path figured out early in life. But as an adult now, I know that's not true. So eventually I went on a mission. I needed to find out what this path is. How do I get on the path? And I ended up sometimes interacting with the crows, and the crow points me in the direction of the parrot. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to interact with the parrot. And the parrots point me in the direction of the peacock. I'm like, okay, now this is it. I'm going to get to define the path. And the peacocks are sending me back to the crows. I decided to trust the process and do little small things to lead me to the great things. But as I was finalizing my degree at the university, I did a bachelor's and majored in accounting. I realized I wasn't yet quite there. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to certify. I mean, how can I be an accountant when I'm certified? So I went on that journey too. And in one of those instances, I met a lady. We were doing exams and she was stuck. She hadn't wanted to put her bag. So she asked if she could keep it in my car, and I was fine with it. Well, we left after the exam. She forgot a book in my car. The book was The Thing Around Your Neck by Chimamanda. Naturally, I would consider myself a numbers person, but that day I was like, okay, let me just peruse through this book. I noticed in the book, I came across something, and the author hadn't realized early in life that she could dictate life. And when she realized that she could, a lot changed. And that's when I had my awakening, because it made a lot of sense. Then, in that moment, I had a total mindset change. I decided I don't need to find a path. I need to create my path. And because of that, I went on a totally different mission. And that mission has made me discover things about myself, things that I didn't know that I enjoyed, things that I was suppressing maybe before because I needed to be on the path. But now, this new path, it's been amazing. The journey is amazing. And it's one of the reasons why I am here today. I am discovering something about myself. So, members here today, I would really want all of us to question, are we really on a predetermined path? Or did we make our own path? And the beauty about it, it's never late. You can always create one path. You can create 10 paths if you want. Because in life, there are very, very many variables that determine the kind of path we are going to take. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmasters.
Wow. Thank you, Brenda. That was a wonderful speech. Very wonderful. I will now call upon your evaluator, Brenda evaluator, to give you some feedback, to give us feedback on this speech. Over to you, Brenda.
Wow. Wow. Helen, congratulations on your icebreaker. Helen, I was so attracted to that story you first gave us, or sorry, about the birds. I kept listening and wondering, wow, Helen must be a very, very good storyteller. And I could see from the videos, everybody was so glued to the screen to hear more about that. So it's very good to begin your speech with a story, with a question. The audience, gets glued to you. Yes, we also got to know about you when you were born in Kampala, the exposure you had. You have a bachelor's in accounting. So that is very good for the club members to get to know more about you. I also loved how you brought in the awakening, which is your speech title. What awakened you, your mindset, and how you started creating your own path. Thank you. That at least made the speech content match with the speech title. I also loved how you asked us questions. You asked a very important question. Are we able to determine our path? That's very good. It also keeps the audience engaged. I also loved a bit of your gestures. They weren't too much. They were enough. And you were able to communicate using your gestures. Yes, I may only encourage you to probably stand up while giving a speech. It gives you that much boost of confidence. And then maybe the audience is able to see a little bit more of, your shoulders and some bit of your chest. And also it gives more gestures when people see your body and a bit of movements. Then you may also want to give in more content. I felt you did not utilize all the time that was given. So I thought that there was some bit of your speech that was lacking, especially when it came to your path. Maybe you would have been a bit more detailed on that, just to help the audience get to know what are those steps you took, the details. So I felt that was lacking. And yeah, but this being your first speech, yes, you've done well. You've really done well. Thank you so much. And you are very confident with the stage. You excelled at clarity. Your English was so clear. Your voice was very clear. So thank you so much. And over to you, to the Toastmaster of the day. If other members have feedback for Helen, please, it would be great to give it to her. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Brenda, for that detailed feedback. I hope Helen will be able to pick up some things and implement them for the upcoming speeches. Yes, Julian has raised her hand. Julian, yes, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. And thank you, Helen, for a very amazing speech. I agree with all the feedback from your evaluator. And I would also just like to add one more positive thing that I noted. I learned a lot from your speech. And thanks for referring to the book that brought your awakening, the thing around your neck. So thank you for pointing us to greatness.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Julian. I would therefore call upon other members that have any more feedback for Helen. to any other feedback for Helen from the members? Yes, Drisa, I see you have something to say.
Yes, yes. To Ellen, I really enjoyed the speech. I love the confidence she had in delivering this speech. I was really stuck to the screen listening, and okay, let me be very quick. Where she can improve, it's I think a little bit in the timing, because I felt that maybe I cut her, she didn't complete, and so on. So maybe knowing the time she has, she could improve in this. This story is wonderful, excellently delivered, but I felt sorry, like we cut it somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Drisa. Any other feedback from members for Helen?
Alex is raising the hand.
Oh, Alex. Okay, Alex.
Thank
Over to
you,
you.
Madam Master. Wow, Helen, thank you for really blessing our morning with such a speech. I love that story. I like the twist to your speech delivery. I could tell it was a bit different. The whole story about the crow, the peacock, and the parrot. Well done. I'm looking forward to more of your speeches. Looks like you're going to have more of these twists. I can't wait. What can I say more about your speech? Maybe some little points of improvement, just two. Number one, when you start speaking, first of all, I'm thinking your light is not where it's supposed to be. Your light is almost behind you, so it takes away the glow from your face. So perhaps quick tip, next time you have a speech, log in early and test your position, test your microphone, and test your lighting. Your lighting should be in front of you so that you can have, people have good lighting. Drissa now, even Agnes has good lighting because it's in front of her. Even our backup timer, Toshihiro, has good lighting. Yeah. Number two, I like your takeaways. You had the book you referred to, The Thing Around Your Neck by a very known author. I really thought that you'd have given us much more from that book. You kind of just glazed through it. It's already in your story. Let's have so much from it, like 2 or 3 learnings. That would have been very perfect for the listeners and want us to read more. I love that you gave us a call to action. It was clear and visible towards the end, and that was a very good way of ending your speech. It came out obvious that your speech is ending with your call to action. When you said, trust the process, do great things, and then you said, are we on a predetermined path? That was really powerful. Thank you very much, Helen. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
How? I hope Helen will be able to implement that for the next speeches. So, any other feedback from the members? If you have anything to tell Helen. All right, I think we shall have to move on to the next speaker. And our next speaker will be Suzanne or Tim. Suzanne will be giving her speech, and I'll therefore call upon her speech is entitled Woman of Strength and Dignity. I'll therefore call upon Suzanne's evaluator, who is Alex Agaba, to introduce the speaker. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. It's my pleasure to evaluate Suzanne, who joined our club at the end of last year, and she's also on a runway. She's delivering a third speech. Well done, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Her speech title is From Her Pathways. Her pathways, if I'm not mistaken, her pathways is presentation mastery and
Persuasive
influence.
Yes.
Yeah. Persuasive influence. Yeah. So this particular project is called Introduction to vocal variety, and body language. The purpose of this project is for Susan to practice using vocal variety and body language. But today she's going to focus a lot on vocal variety to enhance her speech. What am I looking out for? I'm looking out for how she's using tone, speed, and volume as speech tools. With a speech title, A Woman of Strength and Dignity, and in 5 to 7 minutes, Susan or team, over to you.
When I woke up in this world, I was living with my mother and siblings. My father was missing in action. It was not because he was dead or he was working abroad. In fact, we lived in the same town. Out of this experience, I grew to deeply admire the strength of my mother. To date, many years later, now as a married woman and a co-parent with my husband, I have in fact come to appreciate the contribution that each parent adds in the upbringing of their children, even in a home with both parents. Each parent brings a unique set of qualities and strength that help in their children's raising. It is therefore important that both women and men receive the dignity and respect in order to bring out their very best. This being the Women's Month, I would rather focus on the side of a woman. It is so unuseful to force any person into silence, weakness, or oblivion. Instead, both women and men should have the liberty to bring out the best for the good of the family and the greater good of the society. And therefore, the title of my speech, A Woman of Strength and Dignity. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, good morning to you all. To explain my speech, A Woman of Strength and Dignity, first, I'll justify why a level playing field is important. Historically, women have been taken as the weaker or less capable gender. I am puzzled why. Yet even the good book, the Bible, and I quote, Proverbs 31:25 says, the woman is dressed in strength and dignity. A merit-based society where the very best is recognized, promoted, or given opportunity, receives the very best that there can be. Giving girls and women more choices will in fact lead to better results for their dependents. A case in point is in the recent lockdowns, 2020 and 2021. All our youth experienced enormous challenges, one of which was exposure to premarital sex. Unfortunately, it is the girls that bore the weight of it, for it is they by nature that got pregnant. Giving these girls a choice to continue with their education is the minimum that anybody could do. And I applaud the Ugandan government for stamping its foot down and allowing pregnant girls and breastfeeding girls to sit their national exams. I hope I have convinced you that a level playing field is in fact very important. Number two, in this journey towards a woman of strength and dignity, it is important that we train our children and youth in important life skills. Both girls and boys need to appreciate the value and the worth that they bring to the table, because there is greatness in each of our children. They too need to recognize the value of diversity and teamwork. Accepting people different from us and allowing them to thrive is good for the greatness of our society. Both our girls and boys need to be trained in refusing.
Stop sitting on Fox.
They need to be trained in refusing bullies, in refusing intimidation. Secondly, for the girls specifically, they should be taught never to shy away from expressing themselves, speaking up, and contributing where they have ability. They should also be encouraged to pursue their dreams. As for the boy child, we all know that men are the heads of the home. Leadership should be embraced as servant leadership. Our boys need to be trained that it's important to lead by example and not to lord it over others. They also need to pitch in their fair share of household chores. For we encourage the girls to contribute in the world of work. In order for that to happen well, even the boys, the future husband, needs to chip in their fair share of the household chores. And my final point, financial stability is important. We all know that he who pays the piper calls the tune. He who pays the bills determines what happens. Until our girls and women are putting something on the table, they will always remain voiceless. So let's encourage our girls to study and pursue careers. Let's encourage the career women to continue climbing the career ladder. And let's also pick up the ladies in the informal sector to work, give them capital and business mentoring. Ladies and gentlemen, we can all pick up a vulnerable woman and give them a voice and make them great and lead to a woman of strength and dignity, standing alongside a man, which will be good for the greatness of our society. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, thank you.
Wow, Suzanne, we really need a level playing field. We really need it. It was a wonderful speech. Perfect timing in the Women's Month. I'll therefore call upon the evaluator to give us feedback. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. You're doing great. You're doing a great job. Well done in this Women's Month. This looks like a women's meeting.
It is.
Well, Susan, wow. Susan, you continue to amaze us with your wonderful speeches. Well timed, well calculated, and well delivered. This is what I liked about your speech today. Number one, the speech objective was vocal variety, and I was looking out for how you're using your tone, your speed, and volume. And I mastered that you tried to slow down. I could feel every word, every syllable you are saying. And I thought that was very intentional. Well done. Well done. I can cite out a few examples. When you said, let me see, I wrote them down. When you said, a woman of strength and dignity, you said strength and dignity with a strong dignity, and then you even put out a fist, which was a very good use of gestures. I like that. When you said, I am puzzled why, you paused. Use of pauses enhanced your vocal variety. That was well done. I like when you also say somewhere, you said, as for the boy child. You like really stressed every word in that statement. And there are very many usages of those pauses and stresses and slowness, which to me made it easy to listen on a Saturday morning when I'm not really, my mind is really very alert to listen to something very, very heavy. Thank you, well done. I also liked your choice of your title, your choice of content. You chose to focus on the woman, which I guess you're passionate about. You also shared a personal story on your upbringing, and you told us your learnings. As you are growing up, and even as you're a parent now, you brought us into your life, which was very nice. I like your numbering of your points, number 1, number 2, and finally, that also enabled me to follow along your story and your speech. Susan, you took me to grammar heaven when you said, "He who pays the piper calls the tune." Wow, well done. Keep those in your speeches. Those are sayings we don't say every day, and it was amazing hear it coming from you, and you also described it, and we all know what it is. If you got a grammarian here, they would be in grammar heaven too. Of course, you gave us a call to action, Susan. We can call out a woman to be, we can all call out a woman to be great. We listened, we had it, and challenge taken. With all this I've said, Susan, how can you improve on this project, this particular project? While you did excellently well on your tone and volume, I challenge you to also get into spaces where you have to speak fast. It's something that many of us struggle with. We are mastering how to slow down and tone. How about in places when you have to speak fast? Like, was there a helter-skelter moment in your life? Can you kind of embed that into your speech, and we see how you can also move up, especially move up, and also in terms of speed and also in terms of volume. That's something you learn the more you speak, the more you practice. And I'm looking forward to more of your speeches. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Wow, Alex, that was very well detailed.
Thank you.
I see someone else wants to evaluate. Judith, over to you, Judith.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Actually, I think Alex has detailed everything. And what I want to talk about, like, I had to capture it before I open my mouth. But otherwise, Susan, that was an amazing speech. Your title was just in line with the content. You are so confident with that stage. It's like you've been talking forever, doing speeches forever. I'm actually amazed, very, very amazed. I love the way you're toning the speech, the volume at a certain point. And when you mentioned the boy child, you calmed down, you brought the tone low and the volume. That was amazing and made us understand the importance of the statement, emphasizing the boy child. Yeah. And when you mentioned the strength of the woman when it comes to body language, actually reflected that in your body language. Not to forget something. I know Alex has talked about it, about the speed, the pace. Yeah. Alex mentioned the pace is very important. We are all struggling with it, including myself. Sometimes I'm very fast, sometimes I am not. We are all on the journey, and I know the evaluation helps us to get better and better. But otherwise, my darling, that was an amazing speech, and a call to action, encouraging everybody to support the girl child. Yeah, with support with finances, to do business, educating the girl child. It is very important. Toastmasters men, please, wherever you are, ensure that the girl child is taken care of, whether you're married or not. At a tender stage, when we are up there, here we are married people, please support us in everything. We are your strength. Back to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Judith, for that wonderful feedback. I'll call upon the rest of the members that have feedback for Suzanne. There's so many ladies. It's really a ladies' month. Anyone? Oh, from Agnes. Agnes, you have something to say. Over to you, Agnes.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, and thank you, Suzanne. Awesome speech, like the previous evaluator said. One thing stood out for me. You know, we have a lot of talk about the women, girl, child, whatever, and I think for some members in the audience, sometimes it can get a bit like, I think where are the boys? And then when you mentioned the boys, I'm like, oh yes. Level, like playing field, giving opportunities to all. That stood out for me. Thank you. As an audience member listening to your speech. Yeah, okay. Over to you.
Thank you, Agnes. Any more feedback from the members? Wow, okay. We shall therefore move on to the next speaker. Thank you very much, Suzanne, for that wonderful speech. Our next speaker is Juliet Oyela. Juliet Oyela is giving her speech titled, Even the Best Laid Plans. Even the Best Laid Plans. Juliet Oyela, over to you. I'll therefore call upon the evaluator, Juliet's evaluator, who is I'll call upon Juliet's evaluator, who is Agnes Katushame, to introduce her and what project she's taking on, and tell us more about Juliet. Over to you.
Hey, Juliet, it's such a pleasure to be evaluating you this morning. Toastmasters and guests. Juliet's path is persuasive influence. She's on level 3. The purpose of her speech this morning is for her to practice delivering social speeches in front of her club members and guests, I'll add. Juliet, I'm looking out for a well-organized, well-delivered, appropriate speech for the type of social speech you're going to give this morning. At level 3, the usual vocal variety and all that, I will still expect from your speech. Juliet's speech title, Even the Best Laid Plans. Even the Best Laid Plans, Juliet Oyela.
Wow. I am elated to be the recipient of this token of appreciation given to me by this club in recognition for my role as club secretary in the past term. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, Kampala Sunrise Toastmasters Club. I joined Toastmasters in 2019 after having guested for a while at different clubs. Obviously interested in joining, but I was petrified out of my head at the thought of walking onto that stage and giving speeches like I had seen several people do at different clubs that I had visited. The day finally came, however, when I vanquished my fears and decided to join Sunrise Kampala Toastmasters Club. I did not join Kampala Sunrise so much because I am a morning person. No, absolutely not. I am not a morning person. I joined the club because a friend of mine was already a member, and because she has a history of connecting me to good things, the decision to join her was a no-brainer. Navigating my way through the icebreaker speech, my different levels, is a story for another day. But I do remember that when I joined Toastmasters, I had a plan, a good one too, I must add. I was going to run through the different levels of the pathway I had chosen, conquer my fear of public speaking, and be able to climb the career ladder as far as I could go. a solid plan, wouldn't you agree? I thought so too at the time. So when the EXCO then, or the executive committee, was handing over, it didn't occur to me to volunteer for a role because I thought this is distracting me from my goal. However, one of the members from that EXCO approached me and suggested I should step into the position of the club secretary. Hesitantly, I did accept, and fearfully, I began this role. Along the way, I realized that it was probably one of the best decisions I made because at the end of that term, I was a different person. And I'm so glad I decided to take on the role of club secretary. I learned a lot of the work on the job, obviously. Experience, after all, is the best teacher. I had no idea, for example, that writing minutes was no child's play. You guys, getting minutes done in time for the next meeting, ensuring correct grammar, keeping club records is a daunting task. I remember one meeting, I had failed to get time to do the minutes, managed to get them through just the night before the next meeting. I must have given the club president quite a run, trying to comprehend the minutes in time to get them presented the next day and have them adopted. Madam President, and I'm sorry for whatever stress I put you through. But it was not all an uphill task, members. We had a lot of wins, mostly because I had a great team. Teamwork, after all, wins the day. I want to thank the EXCO that I worked with who are in this room. I see you guys. You are a great team to work with. I also wouldn't have a role if there was no club. So I want to thank Kampala Sunrise Toastmasters Club for the opportunity to serve in the role when I did. Once again, thank you so much for this token of appreciation. I will forever carry it in my heart. Thank you so much.
Wow, this was such an interesting speech. I like the fact that you carried the what is it called? I like the fact that you carried it and you're very happy about it and you carry it to show it to us. I would also I would like to take on that role when my time comes. I'm sure you're going to take it on. Thank you for giving me that encouragement. So I'll therefore call upon Juliet's evaluator, Agnes, to give us feedback about Juliet's speech. Over to you, Agnes.
What a speech, Juliet Oyela. Appropriate words, choice of words for the speech, words like elated, and what grammar you had in your speech. Things like petrified, daunting task it was when you were describing certain aspects of taking on the role of secretary. The TMOD has already mentioned you had a prop. I mean, that was visual for us, helps us remember, but also helps us connect with what you're saying. And the excitement on your face, explaining how elated you were, it just showed it all to us. For your acceptance speech, I love that you engaged the audience when you mentioned, don't you agree? And looking straight at us. It kept us following along as you gave your speech. I was looking out for contributions. In your speech, you gave your story, how you became secretary, how the things you went through. And then I kept waiting. I was expecting to hear more, how others contributed to your success. And then it came out finally towards the end. And I'm grateful that it came in. Like you appreciated your friend who brought you to the club, who likes for you to have good things and see good things. You talked of the teamwork, you thanked the EXCO team and Kampala Sunrise. And so I thought that was awesome. What could you improve? I thought, Juliet, you could use pauses a little more encouragement, that now that you've started to give the speeches, give them a little more. I would like to see a bit of what you used to do back then. There were more pauses. Right now, there were not so much there, especially when you mentioned thank you. You could just pause a little for us to take it in before you add on something else. You used something like, I think you said you guys twice. I am not quite sure whether that would be appropriate when you're giving a speech. Perhaps that would be for informal settings with your friends. But in an audience like this, I would recommend take that out. Just leave it at team, thank you, team, or words like that. Otherwise, I thought you did really well in your acceptance speech. And over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Agnes, for that detailed feedback. I hope Julia to be able to implement all the suggestions. I would therefore call upon the rest of the members that have feedback for Juliet. Anyone? Any feedback for Juliet from the rest of the members before we move on to the next part of the agenda? All right.
Excuse me, let me give some brief remark about Juliet's speech. Juliet, that was
yes, Brenda.
Yes, can you hear me? Sorry, my video is off.
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, no, just to appreciate Juliet for that beautiful speech. As I was watching her, I could see she was so grateful to the team for the mentorship and the growth she has had as a secretary for the club. I loved her presentation. Wasn't she looking smart? The red dress was, for me, a highlight because I kept looking at her and you know how elated she was. She really looked bright and excited.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe Juliet, I would recommend you for the next speech to give some specific words of encouragement to the audience, especially for those that have not maybe taken up roles, for those that look forward to taking up those roles. What are the challenges? What are the key? I think it would be very, very helpful if you were very specific on those. Of course, you generally give an overview, which is fine, but it would also be very helpful to give those specific benefits. Otherwise, thank you so much for your speech. Over to you, Tiomodi.
Drissa, so I see many other people want to give feedback to Ella. Drissa, over to you, Drissa.
Yes, Juliet, thank you for a great speech. I particularly appreciated that you were standing and you had this trophy in your hand, showing it and so on. It was really, I personally appreciate that. And on the recommendation part, I think the previous said it, maybe a word for those who are aspiring to have someday this trophy, also a word from them would be welcome. Otherwise, great, keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Drissa, for that wonderful feedback. I'll therefore call upon someone else wants to give the feedback to Juliet. Alex, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the morning. Wow, Juliet. Wow. Surprising speech. I didn't expect this speech, and I'm glad you chose this topic. And very appreciative speech. You sounded really passionate because you're giving a personal story and personal experience about your role as a club secretary. And you gave it with so much truth, I think, and humility, because you didn't just tell us how excellent you are, you also told us how you struggled with it, and even apologized to the immediate past president, Madam President Anne. Really well done with your speech. And I thought it was very timely because it's about this time of the year when members are considering if they want to serve as club leaders. It was very timely, and we thank you for the speech. Excellent, your excellent physical appearance. Your room is not very distracted, and the red dress, like Brenda said, well done. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you all for your wonderful feedback for the different speeches. I hope the speakers will be able to implement that for their
There's another
next.
person in the chat. There's another person in the chat.
Someone else want to give feedback?
In the chat, yeah.
Who is that?
Judith?
Judith, you want to give feedback?
Yeah.
Okay, over to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I think, Juliet, that was a great delivery. And I would like to agree with Brenda when she said that if you had come out to highlight on the contribution made by each member of the EXCO, that would add more value. But I appreciate the fact that you generalized it. At least some the members got to know what really happens in the EXCO, in the meeting, sorry about that, what happens in leadership. And as a person who formerly was a secretary, I also appreciate that fact that if you take up a role, actually you never be the same person, you become different. Formerly, I didn't know how to draft meetings, to tell you the truth. When I became a member, I really improved. I got better and better. It's not an easy job to do, but when you learn it, you have really learned it. And to me, I think, Juliet, you did a great role. We really appreciate what you did for us during that time. The meetings came in time. I'm surprised actually that you're saying it was hard for you. To me, you are really good. You're always prompt. We got the meetings in time, but that's what happens behind the curtains. But that was a great job done. And I think members who are not yet on the committees, as we hear Juliet talking about the responsibilities of different committee, please, this is something we'd love to be a part of, because you'll never be the same again. You may say, Judith, you're not a member of the committee anywhere, but that's all right. I did my part at that time. When that time fails, but if you adopt what Juliet is talking about, you never remain the same again. Because I could see that in her body language. When you said I'm elated, you could see really her spirits were really up there, meaning it really affected her positively. And I know, Shamim, when you say she attracted you towards becoming one, yes, indeed. She almost convinced me to get back to that role from the way she was explaining. So I think, members, please, we need to adopt that. We need to catch what she said, that being a committee member, Toastmaster members is here to grow us. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you. Wow, I like all the evaluations. These evaluations have been very fantastic. They've been very great. You're all doing great. Thank you very much. So we are going to move on to I think all the round robin evaluations are done. And yes, I confirm that everyone that wants to give feedback has given their feedback. And therefore, we're going to move on to our next part of the agenda. And we are going to have an educational moment from one of our members and the vice president and the vice president of education for Kampala Sunrise Toastmasters, who is Alex Agaba. This educational moment is about to take 2 to 3 minutes. Timer, please take note of that. And yes, we shall have Alex. Alex, over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I'm at a point in my life where I'm kind of valuing my time. I'm asking myself, where does all the time go? You wake up and you have a million things to do, but you only have 24 hours in one day. So I've been questioning myself, how do I appropriate my time? And so when I realized that there was a chance to give this educational moment, and I thought that, wow, what better way to share my, it's a challenge, but what better way to share my challenge with fellow club members than having it in an educational moment. And this is part of a very huge presentation I want to do, 30 minutes, maybe at a workshop, but I'll try my best to squeeze everything in 1 to 2 minutes. And I'll share my screen for that. So this presentation is entitled Manage Time, Manage Life, because time is one great resource we all share. And I guess the more you are efficient at managing it, the more you have a successful life. So is this presentation for you? It's for you if you are too busy. So Toastmasters and guests, are you too busy? How do you spend your time now? Do you want to spend your time better? These are questions for you to ponder. Think about your daily life. In your daily life, there are 5 things you have to do every day, like 5 non-negotiables. You have to sleep at least 7 hours, or maybe 6, or maybe 5 if you're stretching it. You have to eat. How long does it take you to find food the whole day? This is breakfast, lunch, dinner, or dinner, those who have like 4 meals a day. It takes me about 2 hours if I combine all the accumulated times when I'm finding food. Travel, do you commute to work? How long does it take you to get from where you stay to where you work? If you stay in Chariwajala and you work in the middle of town, how long does it take you to get there and also get back home? Probably on average, it takes most of us 1 hour, some 2. Are there any errands you do during the day? Most errands people do here is maybe going shopping or what? Picking bread, I don't know. How long does it take you to carry out these errands in a day? Probably an hour or so. How about hygiene? Hygiene is what you do to get dressed. Do you iron your clothes? When you get your shower, you brush your teeth, you comb your hair. So probably an hour, depending on how many times you do in a day. So if you add up all these add up to 12 hours. Wow, Toastmasters and guests, you spend 12 hours just to get your day started, because you even haven't put how much time you spend at work and how much time you spend doing those other things. What are those other things that you like to do during the day that are not listed here? This is such a challenge. This means that half your day is already spent getting started. This got me wondering, wow, this is such a tall order. It's a tough battle just to manage your time, because you spend half the day already doing the non-negotiables. And most of us are heavily employed full-time. And if you're full-time, that means you need at least 8 hours to do your job as a full-time employee. So imagine 12 plus 8 is 20. So that leaves you with 4 hours just to do things you like. Think about that, Toastmasters. So, is this talk for you? Are you taking on too much? I'll leave you with a few quotes that will inspire you to think about your time. Lewis Carroll once said, if you don't know where you are going, any road will get you there. So do you have a plan? The quickest way to have a plan is set some goals, and your goals must be SMART. I'm assuming we all know what SMART is, but when I have more time, I'll elaborate upon this smartness. Quickest tip is have a vision board. Toastmasters here all have vision boards. We must agree. We had a presentation on this when the year was starting, and all of us agreed to have a vision board. Those items you want to achieve this year, get some pictures and put them on a vision board, pin them somewhere you can see every day to remind you on what you want to achieve. Planning helps you know what's coming so that you are not surprised by events. Also, guess what? According to Parkinson's law, work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. This just means that if you have a task to do and you give it 1 day, it will take a whole day for you to do the task. If you give that task 1 week, guess what? It will take you a whole week to finish the same task. For example, if you have a speech to deliver at Kampala Sunrise and you have just 6 hours to write that speech, it's most likely going to take you 6 hours to write that speech. But if you have a whole week to give that speech, it might take you a whole week to write the same speech because work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. I believe my time is already up, and this is part of a really larger presentation. So I intend to give it at one of those workshop meetings, probably on a Thursday morning. Thank you. I hope I've achieved the goal to help you ponder about how you're spending your time and maybe how urgent you need to be spending your time and how much you want to prioritize your activities. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Alex, for that really wonderful at the moment. I guess we can now sit back and ponder on our time. How are we managing our time? Because I see there are very few hours in a day, and the thing that is supposed to be done take almost half of the hours. So I don't know how you're going to manage that, but thank you, Toastmaster Alex, and I hope everyone is able to pick from that. We are going to move on to our table topics. This is the next on the agenda, and our table topics master today is one of our guests, Laura Malema. She will take us into the table topic speeches, and each speech will be 1 to 2 minutes. Bishop, please take note of that, our timer. Each speech is about to take 1 to 2 minutes. Yeah, so that we can keep some time and people can move on to other engagements that they have for that day. Over to you, Laura. Can take us through that education moment.
Yes, thank you. Good morning again. Like I shared already before, the questions I will ask for the table topics are in the same theme as today. So doing great things. Let me see. I'm just wondering how many time do we have in total for the table topics? Or is just someone giving me a sign when we have to finish?
Let's work with 20 minutes for the whole session, 20 minutes for the whole session.
Okay, great. So I want to encourage everyone to take some time after I ask the questions to just take some seconds. In our club, one time we set a timer and we took 30 seconds before we started with our improvisation. So I just want to encourage you today, after I ask the question, just take at least like 10 seconds for yourself, be silent, and then start with your small speech. So the first one who I want to invite on stage is Emmanuel. And the question is, what are some of the great things which is happened or are going to happen in this Toastmasters Club? I repeat the question. What are some of the great things which are already happened in this Toastmasters Club or which are going to happen in the future in this Toastmasters Club? Stage is for you, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel. Emmanuel. Is not.
Hello?
Yes, Emmanuel.
Hello?
Yes,
I hope
Emmanuel,
you're talking to me. Hello?
Yes, Emmanuel, we can hear you.
I want to invite you on stage for the table topics. So the question is, what are some of the great things which has happened into this club the last year, or what are the great things which are going to happen in this Toastmaster Club? Are you there, Emmanuel, or not?
Emmanuel? You turned on your video and you went to, okay. Laura, I think you may have to choose someone else.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me ask another question. And Rico, are you ready for another question? Okay, the question is, one of the advice which is given to people who want to do great things is to use your imagination. Can you explain why it is important to use your imagination when you want to achieve great things?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Such inspiring questions. We need to use our imagination to achieve a certain goal we set up, because right now we can see how at first in the start line. For my case, I always feel hesitant to make a first step to achieve a goal, to climb up ladders, because I don't know right now how I could change, improve myself towards the goal. In that case, we need a certain imagination how we would be transformed in the end of the goal, at the goals. Then we can imagine the procedures for each steps towards the goals. In the imagination, we don't feel hesitant at all because it's in our minds. And it's also free for us, for me, in any ways. Positively, we don't have to think about negative ways at all. And it will be motivational for ourselves to step forward. That's why imagination is very, very important to set up and achieve our goals. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Noriko. Love your explanation and also what you share about in imagination, that you don't have to hesitate, and it's a safe place where you can see wherever you want to go. So thank you for your encouragement. The next person I want to go to, let me see if you are still here. Joanita, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. The question for you, which person do you admire for doing great things? Which person do you admire for doing great things?
The person that I admire for doing great things, actually, I take her as a person I would like to become like one day. She's called Oprah Winfrey. I get inspired by how she gives her speeches, how she inspires people to change their lives. I really like her speeches and I really admire her. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Joanita.
Laura?
Yes?
There was one more question you're asking. You can choose someone else.
Yes.
Let's take it on.
Let me see. Who is Galaxy A11? Is Galaxy A11 there or not?
Galaxy 8.
Okay, Florence, are you there? Yes. Okay, Florence, the question for you. Okay, you are able to travel in the future and you are now 20 years further. You are in 2042 and you look back to the past 20 years, what kind of great things did you done in the last 20 years? Can you share with us? So what kind of great things you are in 2042 and you look back on the last 20 years and you can share with us what kind of great things did you do, have you done in the last 20 years? Stage is for you.
Who is about to take on that question?
Florence, if she's there.
Florence?
Unmuted, so I thought she is there.
Yeah. Florence? Okay.
Anyone else who wants to take the stage?
Let me try and take it. This is Angela.
Yes.
Thank you, Angela.
Can I go?
Yes, please.
Oh, but
Angela.
What a journey. Okay. What a journey it has been the last 20 years. What great things I have done, starting with learning to speak, and that I picked from table topics. I've spoken at many events, I've been a guest speaker, and guess what? I've been paid for it. I have paid school fees for many underprivileged children. I've started activities where I mentor girls and inspired them to do things that they thought that they were not able to do. The last 20 years have been amazing. My children have grown. They have studied. I've educated them. And so have my nieces and my nephews. But guess what? I have enjoyed life. I have traveled the world. I have swum. I have danced, swam with the dolphins. I have danced. I have climbed mountains. Oh, what a wonder the last 20 years have been. And I look forward to my next 20 years. Over to you, Table Topics Master. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Would love to hear after 20 years the reality, yeah? That we see the pictures of all of these great things. Great. Thank you, Angela. Let me see. Alex, next question is for you. What is one of the habits which help you to do great things? What is one of the habits which help you to do great things, Alex?
Habits. Well, habits make us who we are. And I kind of have a few habits that I think make me do great things. If you ask me to pick just one habit, wow. I'm spoiled for choice, but I'll go with one habit that I just began doing so religiously this year is to drink 1 liter of water when I wake up in the morning, regardless of the time I wake up. I'm purposeful about that. I drink 1 liter of water, and I think it's helping me do great things because I am constantly hydrated. And we all know the theory that our bodies are almost 90% water. So I am contributing to my 90% of my body mass every morning. I make sure I drink 1 liter of water just for just your whole body balance in terms of just, I just feel like when you start your day with so much water, you have clear thoughts and you are taking care of your body in ways you cannot see. It's something I just began doing out of the blue. I don't know why, but somehow your body speaks to you. And I guess I wasn't drinking so much water. That's the one habit that I think is going to help me level up this year. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Wow, thank you, Alex. And the thing what I like about the habit, what you share, is that I think it's very easy to implement it also in our lives. So thank you. Let me see. I just need to go through the names. I already wrote down some names, but I see not everyone is there still. Let me see. Agnes, are you there?
Yes, Laura.
Okay. Next question. You are part of an experiment, and during this experiment, you get a pill. And this pill gives you the power to do great things. What are the great things we see you doing after you taking the pill? So you are part of an experiment. You are part of an experiment, and during this experiment, you get a pill, and when you take that pill, you get the power to do great things. So after you took this pill, what are the things we see you doing? What are the things you are doing? We give you now this pill, and now you are able to do great things. So what are the things we see you doing after you take this pill?
As I share this, I hope it happens by some miracle, or hopefully I get the superpowers to do these great things. I was inspired this morning by what Alex shared. Wouldn't you agree? We have so much to do these days. The world is like running crazy, so much to do in so short a time. How do you get it all done? If I was part of the experiment, I would have some automated things. I know these things, some of them are already happening, but maybe at a faster rate. Like some things are done by machines. Like, what are some of those things that make you really, really want to have some more time to yourself? Like commuting to work? What is it for you? Well, there are countless things, but I wish there was a way to make some of those things completely automated, but at the same time to have time to yourself and maybe to the people around you, so you can enjoy the life and not always be on the run all the time. But I guess it is something that where one has to be deliberate. Maybe it's something that is possible to do. So what are some other great things that could be done? I would say pause the world a little bit, enjoy the smell around us, enjoy the everyday things instead of running all the time, being on the run and taking the life out of most people, having mental issues and so many other things that come with a very fast-paced life. So perhaps that's something I would want to see happen more. Over to you, Laura.
Wow, thank you for your beautiful words, Agnes. And also, I think it's something which is easy to implement because there is so much beauty around us in very little things, or at least I think there are very little things which we maybe walk nearby what we don't see. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Another question. Let me see. I'm having challenges to pronounce your name, but I will give it a try. Toshi Yuro. Can I give you the
Okay.
microphone?
Okay. Thank you. Come on, please.
Okay. Two great things. You always need a plan. Do you agree or disagree? And can you explain? So the statement is to do great things, you always need a plan. Do you
My plan?
agree or disagree?
Oh, agree by this plan. Right. Okay. Okay, in my case, I have the goal and this agree my plan. The coronavirus disturbing our lives and change my life. And I'm working in this stay home and the online meeting with the customers as a business is a change. My goal is a change. So we have the two assets. It is a one asset, there are financial asset, but two is not good. But intangible asset, human resource, human connection is very expanded. It's a Zoom meeting in the Toastmasters Club, right? And I have a human resource natural connection, and it's a very expanded. It's my intangible asset, and to my connection is foreign people. It acknowledge and the teamwork and great things, and some other things. It's my yes. Yes, I agree. But as I have two goals is after my retirement, the best the communication is business skills is up. Okay, this is my goal. It's my happiness. It's my goal. Great thing. It is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All the way from Japan, and also possible due to Corona and all the Zoom meetings. So thank you also for being here. Glad to see you here. One last question, timer. Let me see.
Yes, you below the 20 minutes. You can go.
Okay, let me see. Juliet, are you there and available? I know you
Actually, you have 2 minutes left.
Okay, so one last question. Juliet, I want to end with the same question and where I start with, because I'm a foreigner for your club and a guest. So I still want to know, and I'm curious, what are some of the great things which has happened already in your club or which are going to happen in the future in your club? So what are some of the great things which has happened in the club or what are going to happen in your Toastmasters Sunrise Club in Kampala? Juliet, are you there?
Juliet? Juliet?
Anyone else who wants to take the stage? Because I think when I go through all the participants, almost everyone has been on stage yet.
Hello, sorry I was on call,
Yeah,
but I'm here.
Should I repeat a question, Juliet?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I want to close off with the same question where I started with. And the question is, what are some of the great things which has happened in the past in the Toastmaster Club or which are going to happen in the future? So what are kind of the great things, what you see will happen in this club or which has happened already, to get to know this club a little bit more? This is for you.
Thank you for that question. Toastmasters is the place to be. Any club you go to around the world, you will definitely not want to leave. There is growth, there is connection, networking, and so much. You benefit as an individual and as part of a team. At Kampala Sunrise, we have seen a lot of growth in terms of numbers, but also growth for club members. Members are able to connect business-wise. We've even had some relationships start at the club and end up in marriage. So you must be able to look out for all these opportunities. At Sunrise, one of the greatest things I have seen happen is our elevation in terms of our communication skills and leadership skills. I myself have been a beneficiary. I got a promotion shortly after joining Toastmasters Club at work. So people should definitely be able to look out for that. The club has also seen growth as a club as a whole. I think we have been able to achieve distinguished recognitions under Toastmasters membership. I think we got the president's award. Alex will confirm, But if that is something to look out for, we'll definitely get that very soon. I also see that we will be getting more people getting distinguished membership as Toastmasters around the world. I'm looking forward to a time when this club births another club to start off. And I am calling upon the Toastmasters members. I'm looking forward to starting a club at my workplace. It's one of the goals I need to do before I leave, before I move on too far or finish this particular pathway I'm going on. So yes, there's too much to expect and anticipate in the future. We hope that the meetings will continue to be as enjoyable, but also we'll be able to see growth for members, business-wise. There are people who have gotten jobs through Toastmasters meetings and engagements, connections to do other kinds of businesses. The future is bright. You're going to need glasses to look into it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for this beautiful close of. Thank you. Thanks a lot. You give a very specific and detailed description. Very nice. So thank you, Juliet. And I want to go back to the Toastmaster part. Thank you all for participating.
Thank you, Laura, too, for taking on the role. We really appreciate. We hope that you will come back for the rest of the other meetings that will be coming on. Thank you very much. I still have over about 20 minutes left to the end of this meeting. And I would therefore call upon our timer to give us a report on how the various speakers used their time and how the role takers took how they used their time and what advice it gives us for the meeting that are yet to come. Over to you, Drissa.
Yes, thank you, Shamim. As for the timing, overall, most speakers have gone remain in the time around the time limit, except the first one. I think she went a little bit further. There is some from my side. I missed a little bit how to put the cards on the screen, but so she went a little bit above the timing, except for all other speakers were on time. Then for the table topic, it was the speakers were on within the time. The only thing is Laura had to repeat herself several times, maybe to be understood well, and that's good. One thing is, Laura gave the advice of taking the 10 seconds. I know we all know that the silence is heavy. When the question comes to take that time, 10 seconds before you speak, it's kind of heavy. You want to throw it right away. And I encourage us to practice this. It's helped you gather your thought, and you can deliver something, because the table topic by nature, you don't prepare it. The table topic itself also, the additional time was the repetitions of the question several times, and I think one of the person called or had difficulties with his camera, with his connection, and so on. So overall timing was fine, and I encourage everyone to continue in that trend. Thank you very much, Shamim and everyone. Over from.
Thank you, Drissa. Thank you for taking the. We also had. I would like to introduce our backup timer, who was Toshibiro. He did a very good job. If you notice, he kept on raising the timer in his video. Thank you very much, Toshibiro. Please invite us for your meetings as well. We would like to come to Japan virtually. Maybe next time we shall come in person. Thank you. Don't forget to invite us for your next meeting. We shall surely attend. So next on the agenda, we're supposed to get a report from the grammarian. But for this particular call, we did not have a grammarian, but I'm going to basically give the report about this, and I noticed there was good use of the English language, and most of the speeches were in line with the theme of the meeting, which was to do great things. And I noticed that from all the various speeches, I noticed you're all doing great things, giving very great speeches and taking on great roles and doing very great things. So I would like that we move on with this as our day goes by and for the rest of the meetings. Thank you very much. I would therefore like to call upon our Vice President Education, Alex Tagawa, to give us feedback about the meeting and close the meeting, and we can go on with our engagement. Over to you, Alex.
Wow. A round of applause for Shamim. Shamim doing her first role as a Toastmaster. Well done. Well done, Shamim. This is your first role. I know you're a new member. You gave your icebreaker the other weekend, and you're now doing Toastmaster of the day. The following meeting, phenomenal speed, excellent job. I encourage other members to follow suit. Grissa, are you ready to become a Toastmaster of the day?
Thank you, promise.
Yeah, I know the next meetings have already been taken. That role is already taken, but the meetings in May, I'll put you as a Toastmaster of the day. Who else wants to become Toastmaster of the day in May? We have 2 meetings in May. Maybe when Joanita has joined, she will host a meeting, and Alvin will host a meeting in May. We have Ephraim. Ephraim, how are you? Could you please unmute and say hi to us? I know we heard from Alvin and Joanita at the beginning.
Ephraim.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Where are you dialing in from?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Ephraim, where are you calling in from, and how did you know about our meeting?
Actually, this is my second attempt to join the Toastmasters Club. You remember back in, but somehow I didn't get serious with it. I've gotten serious with it now, and I hope to be sharing a lot with you guys in the coming future.
Great, thank you, Ephraim. We look forward to your membership. I know you are about to sign up at Kampala Sunrise. We can't wait for your icebreaker speech at the club. We also have Florence. Hi, Florence. Do you want to unmute and tell us where you're coming from, how you found out about us? Yes, Florence?
I learned about through brother happened to get a Toastmaster of that day, and I did something about Toastmaster.
Great. We're struggling to hear you, but thank you very much for visiting. Hopefully next time the connection will be better, because I also noticed you a bit about topics opportunities. Hi, Angela.
We have Alvin. He hasn't spoken.
Hi, Angela.
Hi.
Good morning, Angela.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you. I am calling in from somewhere in Kanyanya right now, coming from my workout, and I got invited to Sunrise by you, Alex. Thank you very much. I'm glad I managed to make this opportunity, and I hope that I'll be able to join. Thank you.
Hey, great. We love new members at Kampala Sunrise because our best speeches here are icebreaker speeches. At least for me, I always look forward to icebreaker speeches. Thank you. We heard from Alvin at the beginning, and we heard from Joanita. Yeah, It's been an amazing meeting. I like Kampala Sunrise meetings because of the nature of our meeting. We tackle each section at once, like when the speaker speaks, they give the evaluation and the evaluator does the evaluation. So in case you have another engagement during the meeting, you can actually get off a call. This is what I realized that is very helpful with our meetings, because I know many members had different engagements. It's such a busy time in Toastmasters. There are several area contests and division contests. And also our lives are just busy. You saw my time chart. Our life post-corona is quite different from our life before corona. And as Toastmasters, I think we need to be flexible with the way we run our meetings. And I like that Kampala Sunrise is leading the way in making the meeting flexible, such that you can have the speaker and the evaluator finish their role in the first section of the meeting. And then if they have other engagements, they can jump off and have their lives together. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you guys here this morning. Our president sends his greetings. He's also having an engagement. Like we said, it's really tough times post-corona and members have to thrive. We'd like to thank Laura. Laura is dialing in from Netherlands. She became our last minute table topics master on the last minute. Well done, Laura. Thank you very much for saving the day. Laura, you want to talk to us about your life as a Toastmaster or your life as Laura?
Yes. My connection with Uganda is that I visited the country already 5 times. So I really love Uganda. I'm just now 1.5 weeks back from Uganda. So I'm now in the Netherlands, but I'm having plans to go back in September, and I really have the desire to stay there for a long time. So I worked here in the Netherlands as a social worker before, but I'm now having time off up till May because I just want to find possibilities to be able to find other ways of income. So I will be able to stay in Uganda permanently. So that's a little bit about my life right now. I'm joining Toastmasters now since 2 years in the Netherlands in Apeldoorn. This year I am the VPE. So that's also a big learning experience that I really enjoy. And I love Toastmaster and public speaking. So thank you for being part of this meeting today.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
We made a new friend today. Our backup timer, Toshihiro. Hi, Toshihiro. Do you want to talk to us?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me. All the members in inspiring speech. Toastmaster Club is the same program, but each club has a different colors. We have a new learnings and findings every time we visit. And yesterday I have with this disaster, the earthquake in Japan. It reminded me of the Fukushima disaster. But we have to get over the difficulties. But this club provides me the confidence, the courage, and the teamwork is a touch as of me. Okay, thank you, all members.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Toshihiro. I also want to introduce to you a fellow club member of mine at a different club, Noriko Sekizawa. Sekizawa belongs to Jackpot Speakers, and I'm happy when I see her visiting my club also. Noriko, do you want to greet Kampala?
Oh, thank you, Alex, for inviting me today's wonderful speech. I also a member of Jackpot Speakers in Las Vegas, same as Alex do. And I originally my Japanese local Toastmasters members for 110 months. I'm not so experienced, but enjoying my path. And today I was so, your speeches were so wonderful, very clear to me, and it has a certain message for motivating me moving forward more and more. So, and Alex kindly invited me your division contest 3 weeks ago, I think. And that was very nice and educational for me. And he kindly invited me for today's meeting again. So thank you, Alex, and thank you all of you having me here today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Noriko. Yeah, members, you can join different clubs as you've heard. I belong to another club, which is in Las Vegas, and that club welcomes members from around the world. So there are Ugandans, the Australians, and the Japanese, like you see. And we feel at home right in that club, and it's an American club. If you want to join that club or want to visit, talk to me. I'll send you a link and you can visit. We meet every Sunday. Because the 10 hours behind, it's 11 p.m. here. But hey, good things are worth sacrificing for, right? Thank you. With that all said, I want to thank everyone for this amazing meeting, and see you guys next time we meet. Will be the Thursday meeting, the first Thursday of the month. We're having an online meeting. All roles are available, minus the Toastmaster. Please contact me if you want to speak, if you want to evaluate, if you want to table topics, if you want to be timer, if you want to be an evaluator. So thank you, Dr. Hiro, I see your messages. Thank you. We took some pictures, we'll probably share them on other platforms.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll stop the recording now so that we can just talk informally if you want to talk.